Wallet-sized photo of an unidentified black girl, found one day after 9-year-old Asha Degree vanished into a rainstorm, remains one of the most unexplained and haunting clues in American missing persons history.
No one has ever identified the girl in the image. Not Asha's parents, not her school, not the public, not the FBI. 26 years after Asha walked out of her Shelby, North Carolina home, at roughly 3 a.m. on Valentine's Day 2000, this small photograph endures as a cipher at the center of a case that has recently accelerated toward possible resolution. With the Dedman family named as suspects in 2024 search warrants that reclassified the case as a homicide. Yet even as DNA evidence and damning text messages have surfaced, nobody has explained who the girl in the photo is, how it ended up with Asha's belongings, or what role it may have played in luring a shy, cautious child out into the worst storm of the year. A child walks into the dark. What follows is a brief recap of the core case, enough to understand everything that comes next. If you want the full timeline and a deeper dive into the disappearance itself, we've covered that in detail in a previous video, linked in the description. Asha Degree was 9 years old, a quiet, cautious fourth grader at Falston Elementary School in Cleveland County, North Carolina, afraid of dogs, darkness, and storms. Her parents, Harold and Akila Degree, ran a structured household with no internet, limited TV, and routines built around church, family, and school. On the evening of Sunday, February 13, 2000, a car struck a utility pole near the family's home on Oakcrest Drive, killing the power around 9 p.m. Asha and her older brother, O'Brien, went to bed in their shared room. Harold returned from his shift as a dock loader at Pittsburgh Plate Glass around 12:30 a.m. Power had just been restored. He checked on the kids, both asleep. He checked again at 2:30 a.m., both still in their beds. Sometime after that final check, Asha rose, packed a book bag with clothing and personal items, and left the house. Every door was locked. There was no forced entry. She had her own key. Outside, a torrential downpour raged. Rain that would, as one investigator described it, sting your face. 2 independent witnesses placed her on NC Highway 18 between roughly 3:30 and 4:30 a.m. Jeff Roop, a Sundrop delivery driver, saw a small girl in a dress and white tennis shoes walking south through the rain, hair in pigtails, carrying a book bag. He turned his 10-wheeler around. When he called out, she bolted into the woods at a pretty good pace. Roy Blanton Sr., a former deputy driving a truck in the opposite direction, spotted the same small figure in light clothing roughly half a mile further south. Both men passed FBI polygraph tests. Both were strangers to each other. A third witness, revealed years later, reported seeing Asha pulled into a 1970s-era green car. At 5:45 a.m., Akila woke to draw a bath. By 6:15, she had torn through every closet, checked both cars, and called across the street to Harold's mother. Asha was gone. Harold called 911. A 9,000-man-hour search involving tracking dogs, dive teams, helicopters, and hundreds of volunteers produced almost nothing. The dogs could not pick up Asha's scent. Almost nothing, except for a handful of objects in a shed, and among them, one photograph. What the photograph actually is, and where it was really found. The photograph we focus on in today's video is a wallet-sized portrait, the kind produced for School Picture Day. It shows a young black girl, approximately the same age as Asha, in what appears to be a standard studio pose against a changeable background. It was found among a cluster of items near the entrance of a storage shed at Turner's Upholstery, located at 2053 Falston Road, along Highway 18, roughly 100 yards from the road and 1.3 miles from Asha's home, close to where the motorists last saw her walking. Shed owner Debbie Turner noticed the items on February 15, 2000, one day after the disappearance. By February 16th, police had been notified and the photo was shown to the Degree family. Neither Harold nor Akila recognized the girl. Neither did anyone at Falston Elementary School. And here is something worth noting for anyone who has followed this case online. The photograph was not found in Asha's backpack. That is a persistent misconception. The shed and the backpack are two entirely separate discoveries, 17 months apart. The photo was found alongside items confirmed as Asha's: a 1996 Atlanta Olympics pencil, a green marker, a yellow Mickey Mouse hair bow, and cellophane candy wrappers matching Valentine's treats given to her basketball team. What was not found here was Asha's book bag. That turned up 17 months later, in August 2001, buried inside two sealed black garbage bags off Highway 18 near Morganton, 26 miles north of Shelby. The double bagging and the distance point unmistakably to adult concealment. The Charlotte Observer published the photo on February 24, 2000, just 10 days after the disappearance. A follow-up Observer article from February 14, 2001 described it as depicting a friend of Asha's, though this characterization was never confirmed by law enforcement and appears to have been an assumption. Despite circulation in local media, no one has ever come forward to identify the girl. A common misconception holds that the FBI formally released a photo around 2016. This is incorrect. The FBI's May 2016 announcement concerned the dark green 1970s-era vehicle, a Lincoln Continental Mark IV, Ford Thunderbird or similar car, that a witness reported seeing Asha pulled into. The photo itself was published locally in 2000 and then largely faded from coverage. It resurfaced years later through true crime communities, most notably when Reddit user SnowflakeBorb22 used the Rimini AI enhancement app to sharpen the blurry original image. The prosecutor's podcast featured these enhanced images in a February 2021 episode, reigniting public interest in the mystery girl's identity. No forensic analysis of the photograph has ever been publicly disclosed. No confirmed details about film type, estimated era, or whether it was professionally produced. Community observers have noted the girl's clothing and earrings appear potentially dated, with some suggesting the outfit resembles styles from the late 1970s or early 1980s. Law enforcement has never made a formal national appeal specifically about this photo, the way they did about other evidence items in 2018. 7 theories about who the mystery girl might be. The photograph has generated intense speculation across true crime communities. The theories range from plausible to deeply unsettling. The grooming law theory is the most widely discussed. In this scenario, a predator used a photo to create a fake persona, posing as the girl and corresponding with Asha via physical mail as a pen pal, since the Degree family had no internet. The wallet-sized school portrait format fits the era's conventions for exchanging photos between friends. Proponents argue this would explain why a child terrified of the dark walked willingly into a storm. She was going to meet someone she believed was a same-age friend. Critics note that the family found no letters or correspondence in the home, and Asha's sheltered life left little opportunity for secret contact. The planted evidence theory runs a close second. The Finding Asha Degree blog, the most detailed independent analysis of the case, argues that the shed items were deliberately placed by the perpetrator to create a false trail. The blog notes that scent dogs failed to pick up Asha's trail in or around the shed, a significant finding. The items were small objects that would normally settle to the bottom of a packed bag, yet they were positioned neatly just inside the shed door. If Asha was struck by a car on the highway, a theory that gained traction after the Deadman developments, the perpetrator may have scattered her belongings at the shed to misdirect searchers. The trophy theory suggests the photo depicts another victim of the same predator, a child who may be missing from a different jurisdiction. The girl's persistent anonymity, despite decades of media exposure, fuels speculation that she may herself be a victim. The rescue mission theory, raised on the prosecutor's podcast, proposes that someone told Asha the girl in the photo was in danger and needed help, exploiting Asha's empathetic nature to lure her out. The composite mock-up theory suggests the photo may not depict a real child at all, fabricated to avoid being traced. The bereaved mother theory posits a woman who lost her own daughter used the photo to emotionally manipulate Asha. And since the 2024 Deadman revelations, a new theory has emerged connecting the photo to the Deadman daughter's social circle, though no official link has been established. The Deadman family and a case reclassified as homicide. The case cracked open in September 2024 when FBI agents, SBI investigators, and Cleveland County deputies executed search warrants at 5 properties connected to the Deadman family of Cleveland County. Advanced DNA analysis had linked 2 individuals to items in Asha's backpack. Annalie Victoria Deadman Ramirez, 13 at the time of the disappearance, whose DNA matched a hair stem on Asha's undershirt, and Russell Bradley Underhill, a nursing home patient under the care of patriarch Roy Deadman, whose DNA was found on the trash bags. Roy Lee Deadman and his wife Connie were named as suspects. Their 3 daughters, Lizzie, 16 in 2000, Sarah, 15, and Annalie, 13, regularly drove a green 1964 AMC Rambler along Highway 18 to transport patients to Broughton Hospital near Morganton. That car, seized from the Deadman property with front left fender damage near the headlight, bore very similar features to the vehicle witnesses described. The warrant stated for the first time that investigators believe Asha Degree is a victim of homicide with her body concealed. The February 2025 warrants brought even more damning material. Witness Thad Melantine, who passed a polygraph, told investigators that at a party in the mid-2000s, an intoxicated Lizzie Deadman Foster was sobbing and bawling and made several statements admitting to killing Asha Degree. Her sister Sarah allegedly grabbed her and told her to stop talking. Text messages seized from the sisters' phones during the September 2024 searches showed Annalie writing, "The theory is I did it. Accident. Covered it up." Sarah texted Lizzie about the NKOTB shirt found in the backpack. "They think it's our shirt. It's not her shirt." Lizzie told her ex-husband, "I feel so horrible. I caused this." When Lizzie agreed to a polygraph in February 2025 and was asked if she was concealing information, she was found deceptive. No arrests have been made. The Deadman family denies involvement. Searches continued as recently as April 2025 when investigators examined the old Northbrook Elementary School property, purchased by the Deadmans in 1991 and sold in 2004. Asha's remains have never been found. What the silence around the photo reveals. The FBI and Cleveland County Sheriff's Office have made targeted public appeals about specific evidence items: the green car in 2016, the NKOTB shirt, and Dr. Zeus book in 2018. They have never made a comparable formal appeal about the photograph. This asymmetry is itself revealing. Either investigators believe they know who the girl is and are withholding that information for strategic reasons, or the photo has been deprioritized as potentially incidental. The 2001 Charlotte Observer description of it as depicting a friend of Asha's suggests early investigators may have initially dismissed it. But if it were truly innocuous, just a classmate's school picture, someone should have identified the girl by now. The case's reward stands at $100,000. The Cleveland County Sheriff's Office insists the investigation has never gone cold. Sheriff Alan Norman said in 2025, "We're closer than we've ever been with the modern technology that we have." Asha Degree, 26 years into the worst nightmare a parent can endure, told reporters in February 2026, 26 years is a long time of not knowing. We still haven't given up hope that she's alive. But if they bring me proof that she's not alive, then we'll accept it. Somewhere in the constellation of evidence, the DNA, the green car, the alleged drunken confession, the buried backpack, sits that wallet-sized photograph of a girl nobody can name. It may be the key to understanding why a child who feared the dark walked into a storm. It may be a red herring planted by someone who knew exactly what they were doing. But until the girl is identified, the photograph remains what it has always been, a small, mute witness to something terrible, holding its secret in a case that is finally, painfully, inching toward answers. Conclusion. The Asha Degree case stands at an extraordinary inflection point. After 2 decades of near-total silence, the Deadman family connection, driven by genealogical DNA breakthroughs, a seized green car with fender damage, an alleged drunken confession, and text messages that read like consciousness of guilt, has transformed this from a cold mystery into an active homicide investigation. Yet the unknown girl photograph found in the Turner shed alongside Asha's confirmed belongings predates all of this by 24 years and remains stubbornly unresolved. Its significance lies not just in what it might reveal about how Asha was lured or who took her, but in what it represents about the case's deepest unanswered question. Why did she leave? The grooming law theory that someone used a photo to pose as a child friend remains the most compelling explanation for a shy girl's inexplicable midnight walk. If the Deadman connection